Hi, hello. Welcome or welcome back. I am Heather. This is Pages with Postlethwaite. If you're one of my students, it's Ms. Postlethwaite to you. And we are going to talk about banned books. This is my number 5 and number 6 for my hashtag 24BB or reading 24 banned books in 2024. I'm really excited because I actually knocked both of these out last month. I have to talk about them together because they're by the same author. So I have Melissa and Rick that we're going to talk about. Let's start with Melissa. And Melissa holds some pretty high accolades when you want to talk about banned books. This book was published in 2015 under the name George, and at that time got onto some people's radars and was immediately kind of clocked on the American Library Association's challenged and banned books right off the bat. In fact, it made the top 10 to top 5 most banned book between 2016 and 2020, and it hit number 1 spot in 2018. I heard 2019 and maybe even 2020. So this book is just super controversial, and it's really sad that it would be this controversial because in all honesty, this book is super sweet. It's just a gentle, sweet book, but it happens to center on a sweet main character who was always named Melissa. However, she didn't know how to tell people, and a lot of people called her George. I love that Gino recognized that that was basically dead naming our character, who is trans. Our main character, Melissa, we kind of get a glimpse of her. She's in 4th grade and she is struggling to figure out how to let people know that she's actually a girl. She has a wonderful friend named Kelly in here who is her biggest ally and one of her best advocates. As you process through the book, Melissa gets braver and braver in sharing who she is. She does finally share with her mom. She tries, I guess, to kind of share with her teacher. The school Melissa goes to is putting on a play. They're going to do Charlotte's Web. Melissa's super excited and she wants to play Charlotte, but the class of 4th graders is only letting the girls read for Charlotte and the boys read for some of the other parts, which I'm so sorry I have forgotten. Other parts. Melissa didn't want to be those. She really wanted to play Charlotte. Her best friend, Kelly, spoiler alert, ends up getting the part, and they devise a way for Melissa to kind of show her abilities and maybe even come out to her family. So this book is gentle. It's sweet. It definitely deals with bullying. It definitely deals with identity and figuring out who you are. The reasons that it was banned, which is kind of interesting. Of course, it's because the main character is trans. In fact, I love Melissa because it is one of 2 novels that I know of at the very beginning when I started to see main characters who were LGBTQ. This is the very first trans character that I saw on page. So immediately we're going to have backlash, of course. So some of the reasons why Melissa is banned. Obscenity, which, I mean, I don't know what your definition of obscenity is, but there's not an ounce of it in that book, by my judgment. Transgender representation, normalizing gender dysphoria. So recognizing that this is a thing, it's being banned for that reason. Some people say that it contains sexual references that conflict with traditional family structure. I really tried hard to see where this was, and I guess maybe it is just that she is trans. That isn't anything sexual. That really isn't. There is like a weird allusion to the idea of what someone might do in the bathroom by themselves that Melissa's brother makes, but the idea is so far over most kids' heads, I don't think that they would know what that was unless they knew what that was. Like, it just doesn't come out very, it's such a weird situation that if that's what they're talking about, yeah. It was banned in 2023, still in 4 states. Common reasons for its challenge include a sexual reference and conflict with traditional family structure, which some schools and libraries say should not put books in child's hands that require a discussion. That is literally what it says. There's nothing sexual in this book at all. And on top of that, what is literature if it's not to like entertain, make you think, make you grow? I'm a little confused by that. Would you like to have an adult there that could answer questions? Of course, that would be fantastic in any sense, and probably a good one for this, but I actually thought it was a really sweet novel that was gentle in its approach. Melissa was just a doll. So, okay, moving on. So that's Melissa. She's in 4th grade. There is some bullying in this one, and it's pretty atrocious. And Melissa is physically assaulted. She's hit. The bullies in the book are Jeff and Rick. So fast forward 2 years, and I believe we're going into middle school, and we are in 6th grade. And we're going to center our novel on a young man named Rick. Same kid. So it was very interesting to me. Honestly, I kind of loved this, that Gino took one of the bullies from this book and gave them their own story. And what I love about this story is that we watch so much growth and change with Rick. But let me tell you why Rick is banned. And this one's even weirder. I honestly think this one is banned simply because Alex Gino wrote it and it's connected to Melissa, and they have a LGBTQ support group in the 6th grade. We have Melissa comes in. She's got her own cameo there. They're in middle school. We've kind of combined a couple of different elementary schools together. And in this middle school, they have a support group for LGBTQIA plus students called the Rainbow Spectrum. And Rick, who is still friends with Jeff, finds himself really curious about this group and wanting to go. And of course, he does not want to share this with his best friend. He's also a little bit embarrassed and kind of not enjoying that friendship as much. I was telling you why this one is banned. So it really kind of pulls the same kind of things. It gets connected. It's got the rainbow colors, and it focuses in on LGBTQ instances. I really don't think that there's anything else that really stands out, or that this one would be on anybody's radar, except for the fact that Melissa was so popular. For that reason, there's another book that I read that's part of this whole thing and the same school that I have a feeling is gonna pop on some challenged book lists this year as well. So if it does happen to show up, I'll just mention it here. It's called Green, and I read it, and we'll count it for Band 2024 if it happens to pop on the list this year. Anyway, Rick. Rick is so sweet. Rick is really trying to figure out who he is and what he stands for. And he gets to start spending time with his grandfather, who really helps him hone in on the things that make Rick himself. You can kind of see his backpack here, and that he definitely has his own kind of set of beliefs. And I love watching him kind of grow into that whole self-assurance and I am who I am, I like what I like, and deal with it. Rick is ace. And so we've got some asexual representation here. We have a cosplaying grandfather that you will just absolutely adore. And we have growth, which I absolutely loved, because getting into middle school and figuring out who you are, who your friends are, and who you actually want to be friends with is a really hard piece of the puzzle. And Rick is navigating that big time in here. I love watching a reformed bully find redemption. And for all those reasons, really enjoyed Rick. All the reasons why it was just a good time. Star rating, these aren't my favorite books of all time. I'm gonna be very honest. I gave both of them 3.5 stars. Enjoyed. Probably won't pick them up again. I will shout them out because they do a really good job being examples of underrepresented protagonists in literature. Okay, that being said, here's some fun facts. Alex Gino, the author of both of these books, is genderqueer, leaning toward non-binary with using they, them pronouns. So I love what Gino's doing here in growing this rainbow spectrum of characters. Okay, so that is number 5 and number 6, banned books. With June being Pride Month, I'm sure I will hit several more banned books, and for similar reasons that these are. Good times. As always, it's the family that should be deciding what books their families should and could be reading, and that all books should be available for people to access. Anyway, hope you are having a marvelous day. If you liked this, you might go check out some of my other banned book videos. Reading a whole slew. Come join me. Let's talk. See you on the flip side.